We're getting ready to begin our Q&A section. So again, if you haven't dropped your question in the chat, please do so now. So Tiana, who is not on camera but is on mic, is going to read all of your questions.
Okay. Yes. Hey, everybody.
Hi, Tiana.
Hey. All right. So we are going to start with Renika and Kathy, our lovely ladies who submitted their videos. So we'll start with Renika. Her first question is, what mindset shifts do I need to make going from corporate world to being my own boss as an entrepreneur?
Well, let me tell you, I have a little bit of experience in that. I was in corporate America for about 17 years, and I wanted to get out of there so bad I didn't know what to do, but I was very, very afraid. Well, I did take the leap and go out and start a business on my own. But one of the things that I would say to Renika is take those corporate skills with you. You know, don't think I'm leaving this place, good riddance, and I'm going on my own and I'm starting from scratch. You don't have to. All the skills that you had in corporate America will be very, very useful for you when you are out on your own. You know, and as a matter of fact, those are the skills that you're going to need. So take those corporate skills with you. You'll work more for yourself than you thought.
Yeah.
And you will need all of those skills to get you through, because you're wearing many hats.
Right.
You know, or you may wear many hats. And one of the most important things is you are the holder of accountability.
I love that.
Yeah.
You are accountable to you.
To you.
Yeah.
See, in corporate, at least you're like, oh, okay, I got to report to somebody and I check these boxes. But when you're the boss, and that sounds good, everybody wants to be the boss.
Right.
But you are the holder of accountability.
Right. I love that. That's a whole different feeling and meaning, too. Love that. Didn't know what I was signing up for at first.
I know, right? Hold on. Maybe I should rethink this.
Wait a minute. Thank you, Renika, for that question.
All right. Renika's follow-up question was, what are some tips for not always worrying about money when you have a solid retirement?
Well, one of the things that I've told several of my clients is I love the relanguaging. You will hear me say that pretty often. I'm relanguaging. So if we're constantly saying we're worrying about something, that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's be concerned about it, but not worry. That's my suggestion.
And it also sounds like worrying can become a habit.
A habit.
Right. Versus like something happened, which is causing you to be concerned or worried. We can be in a pattern of just worrying. Right. So it's like, why are you worrying?
Yeah.
And when that pops up, I think it's time where you kind of have to say, wait a minute, what's going on here? Why am I feeling this way? Did something happen, or is this just my habit again?
Those are exactly the questions. And I can't tell you how many client sessions I've had that's one of the main conversations. And sometimes we get to actually talking about, where did you get this pattern from? It may not even be your pattern. You learn to worry. And then you're irritated by it because it's not really you. It's someone else's pattern. Maybe it was your mom's, maybe it was your grandmother's, who knows?
Right.
You know, but just be concerned, but not worry.
Right.
And I was curious if she knows she's set. How do you know you're set? Do you know mentally? Have you drawn it on a paper that says, this is how much I need? Like, for example, with a calculator, and it prints out, you need this much based on your variables. So maybe you need to print that out and remind as a reminder that you achieved that goal. So you're okay. You know, I'm okay. Even if it's a Post-it.
Right. Yeah. Renika, I can tell you one thing that I did too is when I was concerned, let me go ahead. Worried, not even concerned, worried.
You were worried. Just be truthful.
What I had to do is what Dayanara just said. Although I'm a financial person, I had to sit with somebody else who allowed me to go through the process to confirm.
Yeah.
So now I was like, oh, okay. Then I had the validation.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, now I can step away from this because I thought something, but I needed to know it, which was two different things for me. So going through that process with someone else is definitely beneficial. Thank you, Renika.
Yes.
Thank Thank you, Renika. All right. So next up is Kathy. She has 2 questions. Her first question is, how do we continue to live in the present without the anxiety and worry, that word again, of planning for the future?
The practice, the process, we've talked about that this evening in several parts of our conversation. Coming up with ways, and I think Darinara said it earlier, that you can actually create a format for yourself, by listening to others, the mentors, things, what is the practice for you? So, of course, we have mindfulness practices, but then what's the mindful practice for you in the financial area? And it could be listening to audio, making sure that I have these sheets that you have attached in the Thank Me Later community, print them out and look at them and use them as a point of reference. That becomes a practice. So that becomes your mindfulness, my mindfulness financial practice. What am I doing?
Dainara, when I hear that comment or that question, it made me think about a couple of things. But one is I equated it to losing weight.
Okay.
It's like, you have a goal. And you know how close you are to the goal based on when you get on the scale or you're taking your measurements. Money's essentially the same way.
Yeah.
It's like once you know the number that you're working towards, you can check in with yourself to see how you're doing.
How you doing?
So I think not knowing those numbers specifically is what gives us the stress and the anxiety.
Yeah,
you have to know what it is so you can get on this scale and check in with yourself. How frequently are you checking your statements on your account?
Yeah.
Like Dainara said, I talk to the people who help me manage my money. I do that monthly. Those are the things that I have to do to give myself the peace and the comfort. Oh, I'm on track. Oh, okay. This is what I committed to.
Right.
So, this is what's happening in the market. So things like that have helped me a lot.
And having a broke threshold.
Having a what threshold?
Having a broke threshold that when my money gets here, I might as well label it as being broke because I'm not going to be using it.
Right.
And if your threshold is too high or too low, you may have to check that.
Right. Appreciate that.
All right. And then Kathy's other question is, how do we overcome the need to do everything right to be successful at retirement?
We're going to jump into bed with that. Like, okay, because Darinara spoke to this earlier.
I know. You go ahead, Dainara.
Go back to that.
Well, I think the mindset is, I want to say let go is what comes to mind at this point. Let go of perfection, right? Because you can't be perfect. You can't do everything right. And that is right. That is real life. That is real. That is okay. So everything always to me ties back to, what do you mean by everything right? Everything to me ties back to that person. What do they need? So depending on what that person needs, what they mean by everything right is how we can address, well, here's what you can do to address that. Because what do you mean by everything right? Meaning not spend, meaning put away, maximize. If I can't maximize, meaning put $15,000 away, I can't do that. It's okay. Put what you can. At least don't just give up and say, oh, I can't put 15,000 away, so I'm just not doing it. Do what you can.
Yeah.
So let go of that need to be perfect and do what is attainable, what is achievable, and reward yourself when you do that, because small things, don't buy yourself a car, small things that you can feel good about so that you want to set more goals and achieve them.
Right. Thank you for that, Dainara. Tiana, what's our next question?
Yeah, so our next question is from Bianca. And Bianca asked this question, Dainara, when you were talking about investing in your retirement and just keeping that in mind with like helping your child get ready for college. So this was a question in regards to that. She asks, do you mean apply those funds to a Roth IRA?
The funds.
So instead of investing in like loans for your child, she's asking, are you suggesting to apply those funds specifically for a Roth IRA?
Okay, so the examples I was thinking was like with clients that I've dealt with that have had money sitting in a 401k for their retirement, and they choose to take loans out for their child's college. And I try to say, I say, let's not do that. Let's look for other sources. But yes, absolutely. If you're putting money away for yourself, and you have not put money into a Roth or into 401k, but you're considering using those same dollars towards your child, then let's find a different way. Absolutely apply it for your own Roth if you have not done so already.
Yeah. Max out your 401k or whatever else you have. And once you've maxed out there, then you can put that money aside to your kids. But if you're not maxing out, focus on yourself first.
And please don't take out the loans out of those retirement plans.
No co-signing of loans at all. No Parent Plus loans at all.
I mean loans out of their own 401ks.
Oh, yeah. Please definitely don't do that. That's why it's called retirement money. It's not called college money.
Right.
We certainly want to do that. Thank you, Bianca.
She sent a follow-up and said, I meant for my college student to use whatever funds into a Roth.
Yeah, I've seen people do that because after you have a Roth 5 years, you can take distributions out, providing the person is over the age of 59 and a half, so they don't have that 10% penalty. So I would still use things for what they are. If I have a child, if I'm saving for my kid's college, use a college savings type of account, whether it's a Coverdell or a 529 or I would use those, and I would stick with my Roth for retirement. But yes, if you have to take, if you feel like you can only do one, then yes, do the Roth because it's ideally for your retirement. I would not use that as my go-to. I wouldn't use a Roth as my go-to for college savings, but I've seen people do it.
Thank you, Dayanara. Our next question is from Fern. She said, I'm 39 and I have a goal to retire by 58. All I have is a 401k that I consistently add to with work, but no additional income. What should I be doing now?
Can you repeat that one for me, please?
Sure. So Fern said, I'm 39 and have a goal to retire by 58. All I have is a 401k that I consistently add to with work, but no additional income. What should I be doing now?
Income. Okay, I'm a bit thrown off by that question. So when your goal to retire at a certain age, that age is not as important as what is your goal to have saved or have accumulated for that goal. So the number, it's very hard for me to tell you what to do when you say, I want to retire at 58. Yes, I see the time. That's one piece of the puzzle. But I need to know, what is your goal to have? How much money will you need by that time? Have you done that calculator? I know Tiana had sent those resources with calculators as to, I'm this age, I have this much in a 401k, I'm putting away this much. What is that number? And then we can see what we can do in addition. Because everyone's different, their life expectancy, their income, their spending, all of that makes a difference.
So, Fern, what I'm going to suggest, please check out the financial independence checklist that's in the chat. There's some retirement planning calculators in there, so you can get to that number that Dayanara is referring to. Thank you, Fern.
Yeah.
Thank you. Our next question is from Tracy. She said, I am concerned about running out of money during retirement. How should I reinvest to make the money work for me? I'm 53 years old. My invested money is not growing much.
If your invested money is not growing much, it could be your allocation. It could be the market currently. It could be a short-term situation. Sometimes people look at their accounts more when they're going down or not moving.
Right.
So I would not say that is an indication that you have to make a change. I think it's more important to look at your time horizon, how many years you have total. 53, you still have a ways before you start drawing money from it, meaning at least 10 years, more than likely. And look at the allocation, how much you have allocated to different sectors of the market in those investments. And then don't react based on short-term changes in the market, or the market is currently down, my account is down, I have to make a change. I wouldn't change based on that. but I have to look at the portfolio to see is it an allocation issue or is it a timing issue? Janai, what do you think?
Well, no, I was just thinking it's part of the previous question that Fern had is what's the number?
Yeah.
Because if you know how much you need to have, and if you're anticipating living to 95 or 100, then you'll know how much it is, and then you're not as focused on it running out because you've projected to live that long, and now you know what that magic number is. So please use the calculators. That'll be helpful. Thank you for your question. We're going to take a couple of more.
Yes. So question from the community. Karen asks, how are the tax percentage calculated when the money is withdrawn? She did not specifically say a certain type of retirement option. So
that's a good question. So Dayanara, let's just assume people have put money in their 401k. Now they have reached the age where they can pull that money out. How is that money taxed?
It is taxed as ordinary income. So it's that taxed as income for you. And that's as simple as I can put it. It's whatever tax rate you would pay at that time. You pay on the contributions and earnings if they are all pre-tax dollars. If it was a 401k that had some Roth money, then you would only pay on you only pay on monies that you have not yet paid taxes on, and you would pay based on your ordinary income tax rate.
Yeah. So whatever income level that you're at when you begin taking that money out, that's the tax rate that your retirement money is going to be subject to. So you are certainly going to pay taxes. For sure. I know people hate to hear that.
I know, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Tiana.
Another question from our community. What is the best way for an independent contractor to prepare for a retirement?
Love that, Dayanara.
Setting up whether it's a SEP IRA, depending on the business structure that you have, setting up a sole proprietor 401k, whatever type of model you have, there is a retirement plan that you can set up for yourself and fund your own retirement, because now you're paying yourself as employer and employee. So yeah, set something up immediately because you don't have the cushion of pensions or anything else working for you from other employers.
Thank you.
All right. And then our last question from the community is from Luell. It's a two-parter. We touched on Social Security, but just going to follow up. How can I ensure Social Security will be available for me when I'm eligible?
Oh, my God.
She didn't say her age and how close she is to retirement. But.
Well, nobody's a magician here. No magic wands.
Good luck with that.
I know. I think I've heard that they're
2036.
2036. I knew it was late.
Like 2036, it's expected to. So expect to see some tax changes. Right? What are they going to do? Either they're going to change the rules. You can collect later, collect less,
right,
or pay more taxes. Those people who are still in the workforce pay more taxes. So it's only a couple of things they can do to make it work. I don't expect that. This is America. I don't expect it will just go away, but I do expect that just like before people could collect at 62 and then they pushed it to 65 and now it's 67. I expect that maybe you can't collect till 72.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do you want to work till 72?
Yeah, living longer and working longer. That's for sure.
So, but there's no way to guarantee that it'll be there.
I'll ask it. Luell asks again, what is a good amount to contribute to a 401k that won't interrupt everyday living? No, that's a very individualized question.
Yeah, very individualized.
It is. Mm-hmm. I would say everyone should starting point is 10%. You're going to kill me. You're going to kill me. Yeah. I think you should start with 10%. By that time, you know you're getting the match if there is one. And you have a solid savings. And if you when you first start that job, when you first start, you are used to it. You'll figure out how to make the rest work.
Yep.
Right. That's what I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know a lot of people are like 10%. It feels aggressive.
Like, what?
Yeah, but in order to get where you want to be, you're going to have to make some changes.
Live below your means.
Yeah, live below your means. Thank you all for submitting your questions, whether you submitted them through the chat. Lots of you submitted them through the community ahead of time. We really appreciate it. First, I want to say thank you to Michelle Davis and to Dianara Tater. Thank y'all for being so generous with your time and for coming back for part 2 and our first Pink Table Talk.
Yay!
Thank you so much for.
Like,
So, Dianara, if people want to be able to communicate with you, how do they get in touch with you?
okay, I can be reached. I think the easiest thing is to give them my phone number. Because my name is so long that I can give you my email, but they'd be like, "What?"
We'll put it in the chat, Dianara.
You should put in the chat.
Yeah,
I
we'll
am
put that in the
available
chat.
on LinkedIn, Facebook Business, and as well directly by phone.
Yeah. So we'll make sure Dianara's information is in the chat. And of course, we'll share that within the community so you all will have access to that. And Michelle, if people want to get in touch with you.
My website is probably the best way that has all the contact information there that you would need. And it's yoga, YOGA, hive, HIVE, .com or .org. Either one will take you there. And then we'll provide the email and my phone number in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you again for both of you for being here today and being so generous with your time.
Thank you.
I really appreciate
Pleasure.
it.
Thank you.
Before we leave, I want to make sure you all know about our programming for the month of May. Of course, every month we have a different theme. We are leaving savings, retirement, and investment in April. And May, our entire focus is on credit. So super excited to be transitioning to this topic. So our session on Wednesday, May 11th is releasing the shame around credit. That'll be at 7 p.m. So look for information, of course, on social media and within the community on that. Wednesday, May 18th, y'all get ready. We are having Credit Confidential, and this is our opportunity where we're actually talking to women based on a relationship.
Okay.
It impacted their credit. So we're talking about breakups.
That's going to be juicy.
Oh, that's going to be a little juicy now. Yes. It's extremely common, and we need to talk about it.
We do.
So that way we can prepare and equip each other. So again, that's Wednesday, May 18th at 7 p.m. And please continue to engage with us within the community and follow us on social media at TML Money or, of course, at Janai Thornton. And thank you all for being with us for our Pink Table Talk, How to Retire on Your Own Terms. Y'all have a great evening, and we'll see you all again soon.